We are in a massive 50,000 hectare conservancy in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, and over the past few episodes we've been doing a whole lot of varminting and small game hunting with the PCP air guns and centerfires. It's been great, but in this video we're turning all our attention to the grey menace of the Eastern Cape, the Vervet monkey. Over the space of 3 days, Claudio Flores and myself have managed to gather a substantial amount of monkey hunting footage, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. Now, monkey hunting is a somewhat controversial topic, but let's clear it up right now with two facts. Number one, it is entirely within our right to shoot monkeys with no bag limit or hunting season, as defined by the conservation and hunting laws for this part of the country. And number two, it is entirely necessary to keep the monkey population under control on farmlands such as these, as vervet monkeys can be extremely destructive to both wildlife and infrastructure if not controlled. It's also important to remember that monkeys don't have as many natural predators anymore, so if left alone, things can get out of hand. The monkeys were well hidden in the thick vegetation last time I was here, but with the drought being particularly bad this year and food harder to find in the mountains, the monkeys have returned with a vengeance, allowing for many close shots. Claudio and I have specifically chosen to use high-powered PCP air guns for the job, as they can be used close to livestock without scaring them, and when longer shots are needed, we also have suppressed centerfire rifles ready to be deployed. We have a lot of ground to cover and many monkeys to find, so let's get to it.
El primer monkey en Sudáfrica con el joven K1 calibre 22. Wow, it's too big, it's muy grande.
So there we go, what a great start. I mean, we haven't even arrived at the camp yet, and Claudio's already got it's actually his second monkey, but it's the first one we got properly on camera. They're a huge agricultural pest, especially in the drought, and they just completely ravage everything. They rip the fruit off the fruit trees, break water pipes, they steal the chickens' eggs, they eat all the native bird life eggs, which means that you get less songbirds around the gardens and in the natural environment here, and they eat the feed as well that they've had to put out for the livestock and for the game animals to actually keep them alive. So they're a big problem, they need to be shot, and it is legal to shoot them here. And we've got our first one down, which is awesome. So we've just spotted a troop of monkeys. They kind of moved out of our view, but they're along that riverbed. So we're going to take a bit of a walk and see if we can just get close enough that we can actually spot them. And if we do, then I've got the 22-250 with a scope cam. So hopefully we'll be able to get some shots on camera. A bit of an adrenaline rush. I brought my 22-250 with me because I know that they would probably be running off into the distance, and the air gun, you can't get across this distance with the air gun, so I took this with me, and as expected we saw the monkeys running away on top of the rocks, and I was able to get set up quickly, lie down here in a kind of awkward position and take a shot. Got the monkey down. Fantastic. Oh, well, I just made a monumental blunder. I put in a perfect headshot with the impact. Thought I'd recorded it, but I stopped recording before I took the shot. Perfect headshot, and just didn't get on camera. But that's how hunting goes, I suppose. There's always things that go wrong, and it teaches you to be patient. But anyway, let's go check it out. Okay, well, that time things worked out. That time I remembered to hit record. He actually had his head slightly behind a bush, so I had to give him a little squeak to get his attention so he could move his head out, and then I popped him right in the head there. Those 26 grain Nielsen slugs at 950 feet per second, they hit really hard, so it's a humane way to put them down. In fact, I don't think you can get more humane than that, to be completely honest with you. He's lying right over there, but we're not going to zoom in on close on him just because we want to make this not too graphic. We don't want to show too much blood or anything like that, but we're going to go collect him there and move on. Awesome, man. So Claudia just took a nice shot here with the Huben K1 at a monkey. Yeah, perfect headshot once again. I think he got it on the scope cam, which is amazing. I'm not going to show you the back end of his head because it's a little bit graphic and we want to kind of censor this for YouTube, but yeah, perfect shot, really happy with that. There have been so many monkeys out here, and I have a feeling that it's got something to do with the drought. Generally speaking, when you've got a drought like this, the monkeys have to travel further to get food. They can't just hide in the trees like they usually do. So you really get an idea of how many there actually are when it becomes dry like this. It does make it easier for us, but it is sad to see the drought. I think I remember this place a few years ago when it was really green, and it'd be nice to see it like that again. So hopefully the drought ends soon. But yeah, we're doing a good job getting rid of these monkeys. They are a huge problem here, and there are many of them. So we're hoping for a good few days here.
We decided to head out on foot through a dry riverbed where we'd seen a lot of monkey activity earlier, and this is a really tricky way to hunt because the monkeys are experts at hiding in the leaves and you don't often see them. But on this occasion I spot one at 70 meters and it's just a matter of waiting for a clear shot through the branches.
I see him, I'm just waiting for a clear shot. Okay.
The 26 grain hollow point slug switches him off instantly, and after getting stuck in the branches for a moment, he eventually tumbles down.
Right, so it's been an amazing day on the monkeys. This is the one I just shot down here. He was in this big tree above me here, and Claudia ranged him at 70 meters, and I was able to just dial the scope to 70. I think I held it a little bit for the wind, but that was kind of something I did instinctively. I don't even remember what I did. Pulled the trigger and I just remember seeing him completely motionless and then slowly just drop out the tree. So really good shot. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, if the rest of the days are going to be anything like today, then we are in for an awesome time.
I actually end up dissecting this monkey and analyzing the terminal performance of the slug. That footage is a little bit too graphic for YouTube, so I'll link you to my Patreon page where you can watch the uncut version in the description below. But here's what the recovered slug looked like. Very, very impressive.
Perfect performance. You can see it mushroomed out nicely. That's exactly what you want to see. Obviously going through the spine like that, it would have hit bone and obviously flesh as well, and fur. So one of the problems I had when Nielsen slugs first came out is that the lead was too hard and the hollow point was too small. So if it hit a furry or feathery animal, it didn't expand properly. But as you can see there, perfect mushrooming. Really happy with that. Fantastic. Good stuff. Well, what a start to our trip here. It's been awesome, action-packed first day. But I don't know, I can't speak for Claudia, but I'm really tired. So we're just gonna put some coffee on here, the usual, make ourselves a nice strong cup of coffee, wait up a little bit until it gets a bit darker. It's about 5:30 now, but it'll probably get a bit dark in an hour or two, and then we're going to start making the fire, putting some meat on the fire and finishing the day the best way possible. Trying to get a fairly good amount of rest tonight, I think, as well, because we do want to get as much hunting in over the next couple of days as possible without burning out. So rest is going to be important. But yeah, that's been absolutely fantastic first day, but we need the coffee.
It's a lovely morning here at Vervet. The monkeys have got in here and they've actually torn apart the bread and eaten some of the Oreos. So we're gonna hopefully get our revenge today a little bit, but yeah, they're a problem. I don't know how they got in here, but thankfully they didn't destroy too much. Yep, we've got a job to do. Let's have some coffee, let's have some breakfast, and let's go do it. Day 2 is full of action as we immediately see monkeys everywhere. However, we're having trouble communicating to each other as shooter and cameraman, so it takes a little while before we actually get one down.
It's in the tree.
Claudio lines up for the first shot of the day with a 22-250, but underestimates how much a little 50 grain VMAX can be blown around in the wind and ends up taking out a branch instead.
Grab.
After some target practice, blasting rocks with the 22-250, which is always fun, we finally get our first monkey of day 2. The 22-50 is extremely effective within a few hundred meters, but the slow motion clips often aren't YouTube friendly, so you'll see I've left out some of the replays.
So Claudio just got his first monkey with the 22-50. He shot one with a Cuban, but then they kind of ran out of range, so I grabbed the 22-50, I took a shot, smashed one, and then they started fighting with each other and kind of forgot that we were around, and they came right past us. And as they were running on the mountain near Claudio, I gave him the 22-50. We hit record on the scope cam, and he took a shot and got it. So unfortunately, you know, with the heat of the action, we forget to bring this camera out. And I think when one person's shooting and one person's spotting, it's kind of difficult to, you know, you almost need a third cameraman, but we managed to do it well, and I'm really happy with that. Awesome. So we've come to the banks of the Great Fish River. The farmers here at Witmorskloof, they own a strip of land along the river. It's one of the most prized pieces of land because they can irrigate it from the water from the river and keep it green all the time. But unfortunately, that green grass or that green lucerne that they grow there attracts a lot of monkeys, a lot of baboons, a lot of warthogs. So we're just going to take a drive up here. We're going to see if we can spot any monkeys. I've got the 22-50 if we've got shots within a few hundred meters. If there's some really long shots, then I've got the 260 Remington. Let's say we've got baboons out there at like 600, 700 meters, we can try to take a shot with the 260. But looking good so far. It's just nice to be here in good weather. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too windy, and we've got the beautiful Fish River below us. So it's been an awesome day so far, but let's see what else we can get. Well, he didn't go far. On the run, in the road. Job done.
We come to our lookout spot over the lands, and at first all we see are a few warthogs, but as we wait patiently and get ourselves comfortable, we begin to see more movement, and lo and behold, it's the grey menace.
Monkey. Okay, he's running to the left now.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Oh,
okay, hold a little bit lower.
Oh!
Dead. Oh, Claudio.
Wow.
Oh, 400 meters.
Wow!
Headshot.
Headshot.
400 meters.
Oh! 400.
Perfect.
Wow.
So Claudio has offered to make dinner tonight. We've got 2 steaks, and we're probably just a little bit too lazy today to actually go through the process of making a fire. So sorry for the die-hard braai enthusiasts that are pulling their hair out right now, but we do have some steaks on the stove, and they should be really good. We need to use all the meat that's been sitting in the non-functional fridge over the past few days getting warm, but it should be great.
On day 3, we actually set out with the sole purpose of shooting some dussies. It was a fantastic day, and you can see how the dussie hunting played out in part 18 of the Oxwagon Diaries series. But on our way to and from the dussie spots, we did actually see a few monkeys stealing from the feeding troughs, and we were able to put in some good shots. The shot was a little bit tricky because I had to weave it through the fence, but in the end it was a great shot and he didn't move a centimeter. Unfortunately, on this next shot I way overestimate the range and the slug passes clear of his head. They aren't quite as lucky when the 22-50 comes out though, and although it does take a while for them to keep still, I end up taking a clean shot from about 250 meters.
So you can see here we've got quite a few chickens here around the farmhouse. There's also a whole lot of little smaller houses scattered around this area where the farm workers live, and they keep their own chickens and geese and all kinds of things. And these ones are in cages, but a lot of them are just out in the open, and the monkeys have a habit of coming down, especially during the drought, and just stealing all the chicken eggs, which is obviously quite a problem because the chickens, you know, the whole point of keeping them is for the eggs. So yeah, the monkeys are a big problem. The farmers have been complaining about them a lot, and they said they're very, very happy for us to just go and shoot as many as we can, because they've really, when they're in numbers like this, it's a problem. With that said, let's go do it again.
We're back with the PCPs as Claudia gets a couple opportunities with Cuban and makes them count.
Thank you, Matt, for the invitation for travel to South Africa. I am very happy. Thank you very much. Amigos, estoy feliz de poder haber viajado acá a Sudáfrica y probar el Cuban K1, que es impresionante, 80 foot pound. Es un rifle que puedo recomendar para la extinción de conejos, liebres y muchas plagas que hay en Chile y en todas partes. Ven ustedes, perfect headshot. Bye.
With our time at Witmoskloof running out, we decide to make one last stop at the lands and bring my 260 Remington along, just in case we get an opportunity for a long shot at a baboon or monkey. Anything within a kilometer is not safe when this gun is out, but unfortunately no baboons, just a few warthogs. So, plan B.
Well, to end off a really good few days of hunting, we're going to do the classic gong shoot to kind of shoot out all the ammo that I'd loaded up for this trip. We've got a gong there at 565 meters. We've got the 260 Remington here with the Nightfall scope on top, and we are basically just going to let the lead fly and see what happens. Now, we did shoot here the other day and we did get some really nice tight groupings, but we have got some wind here, so we'll see what happens. And we've got two big bottles there, one for Claudia, one for me. Some bottles filled with water, so we should get some nice explosions there. But let's get shooting with the 260 and let's see what we can do.
Sometimes it takes a big rain to feel the sun again. Sometimes it takes a big rain.
Dead center. Okay. It's amazing. I think I just put 3 shots in a group the size of my fist, right in the dead center of the gong. That's pretty crazy. But I'm going to shoot the bottle now while I've got my confidence high. Let's do some damage to a bottle, shall we? So this is why I like my current setup. Let me show you. 565 meters, 3 shots, there's my hand next to the group. Pretty much perfect, right around the center. For me, group size is not as important as whether I can actually get it around the center every time. And the fact that I've been able to do that, and the fact that my kestrel has told me that and been completely accurate, that's what matters to me. And the interesting thing is, I think I'm starting to learn a bit with the wind now, because in the past I would have felt the wind back there and assumed that it was going in a certain direction, but my intuition now tells me that if I'm feeling a wind there, it's very likely that it's the opposite here because of the way that the valley's curving, like an S-bend almost. So I actually cancelled the wind that I felt there. I felt a bit of wind from the right. I cancelled it knowing that over here the wind will be coming in the opposite direction. and spot on. And then obviously that bottle just got absolutely smoked. Did some nice damage there. Bullet opened up nicely even at this distance. So now it's Claudio's turn. Let's see what he can do.
Just put your guitar down, down and it's okay. Play it safe. Your mistakes, let them all go. Your broken dreams, your high hopes, love, so delicate. Life is sometimes strange. Sometimes it takes a big rain to feel the sun again. Sometimes it takes a big rain. Sometimes it takes a big rain. Fill your ears with a country silence. Fill your heart with a sound. Fill your ears with country silence. Fill your heart with a sound. With a sound.
Well guys, that brings another Oxwagon Diaries series to an end here at Vervet Farm. It's been absolutely fantastic to have Claudio out here in my little piece of paradise in South Africa, being able to show him around and hunt with him and allow him to experience what I get to experience all the time. It's been great. I do want to thank the guys here at Vervet for allowing me to come stay at their wonderful Oxwagon camp again. I will put a link down in the video description if you guys are interested in staying here. It's not a hunting place actually, so if you do come here, don't expect to be able to, you know, drive around and shoot stuff. It's purely a place where you want to come and relax and get away from the city. I've just got special permission to shoot here because they know me well and they trust me. I'm sure I'll be back here soon at some point, maybe in the winter when it's not as hot, but until then, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.